All right, welcome everyone, Resemblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for
Orb on the Movements of the Earth, Episode 6. Okay, well, we're down to 1. But
Yes.
maybe this will go back up to 2, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, ideally somebody that can, read so that way you can actually know what's in that book you're carrying.
Right? Might lack some depth perception, need to have some better insight, on things.
But it looks like they've already been through some pretty crazy life events.
Yeah, yeah. And I personally, I know it's a cliche, but I love a scarred character. I love
both
emotionally and mentally.
Yeah. Yeah, feels rather fitting that they're at a monastery. But what's going to happen, right? Because, once you say, hey, can you read this for me? I don't know what's in here. Where does that go?
Well, it goes into some very fun conversations, and having a
Hopefully
learned man in this era who's going to be able to have this potentially just maybe infect them with the,
possibly
the joyous truth, or it's the, I will take this and I will keep this secret, but I need you to also cut this off dead. And I'm contrarian, but I'm not a revolutionary.
Right, exactly. Let's hope that there's that conversation, because if there isn't, that might be hinting that you might be about to turned into a barbecue.
To be bitten it.
Yeah.
But all right, y'all, without further ado, let's get into this. Ooh, a tense first meeting.
Yep.
Move the world. Wait. This
That
voice. Yeah. Oh, wow. Please practice your distancing, sir. What a question.
Do you always begin conversations
If
this
you
way?
can't promise me that. Wait.
Oh.
Fun.
Yeah, I talked to a lot of people.
This guy is an asshole.
Yeah.
Ooh. Right. Yeah. Yeah. Oh boy.
But that's not what he was actually asking you to read. Internal thoughts already.
We could be shifting character perspective pretty soon too.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
Right, Oxy's just passing the torch to this guy.
Yeah. Jeez.
That's... Wow.
Whoa.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this guy's really smart.
Okay.
Yeah, however... What the what? Insubordinate, just...
Yeah.
And this is post-scars, so...
Yeah. At first I thought this might be like a flashback or something. That will be 10 times what's asked of me.
Oh. Wait, grasp what? Yeah.
Truth?
Oh, bro's obsessed with making
Yeah,
making a splash.
he's burdened with glorious purpose and all that.
Yeah. Oh, he's curious about it too. Terra Luna Soul, yeah. Nice, nice.
And that is impossible, so I must. Yeah.
So you have to let me continue with this. But at one point you didn't know this about the heavens, and you then discovered it. Ooh. Oh, you keep them, do you? Oh, that's really fun.
Interesting.
Yeah, because they're valuable, right?
Or maybe so that they can know what the heretics are talking about so they can recognize heretical stuff.
Lies! That is a lie.
Such as?
I call BS. Bro lost his eye for this. Okay, this guy's definitely not with the church in that regard then.
Oh, no. Oh, he left it there?
He's baiting him. He's baiting him. Oh, you're too obvious, man.
I'm guessing the circle on the pages denote it as heretical.
That's what he said, yeah.
Okay, yeah. He's gonna read it right in front of him. Not asking the question of why you have it just out and unlocked up in your room.
Right.
But that will be enough. This show is so extra.
Damn. Whoa! He's kind of right.
Wow. This dude.
This guy. He's obsessively proud, but he's kind of right.
Oh, just right there, just like that. Well, okay. All right. That's...
I didn't make those observations. Like...
Oh, yeah. That too. Yeah. Sorry, what?
Yeah, that's funny, but what are you talking about? Oh.
Okay.
It's crazy how, if you think about it, like, it makes a lot of sense to be afraid of the night sky because it's an infinite void, you know?
Sure.
Like, obviously the stars are there. You could ditch it all, yeah. Whoa. If he knew how many people's lives this thing passed through.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Yeah. They had found meaning. You did look up for a second there, though. Yeah.
All right, you're
You
facing
got
it.
this. He did it. Good job. This will change the world.
Yeah. Yeah,
Change
yeah.
the universe. Yeah.
Nice. Okay. What?
Bro is stressing. Yeah, could. I can prove it. Right, right.
Okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Fuck.
That's a good way to say it.
Oh.
The Earth is moving.
Yes. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't make any sense, does it?
Nope. I'm curious how he's gonna, like, demonstrate this.
Cool. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Yep. Yeah. You were moving backwards. Yep. Just like that. Oh!
Mm-hmm.
So cool. It's just such a simple way to explain it. Yeah.
The church is full of shit.
Oh, calling out. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But merely all of it is
Yep.
beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah, now I can look up that fear.
Wow. Yeah, this would be the textbook definition of grace in that regard. Yeah. With this knowledge, with this, yeah, but that's gonna bring
You might be able to.
that's gonna bring all kinds of hell down on y'all.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You thought the church burning your eye was bad?
All right.
Okay.
He's free.
Yeah.
Bro, Oxy's free. He can look at the sky.
Of rational thought makes all the fears go away. No.
No, it's really special. Like, he's been given the perspective that, yeah, the heavens, you know, the sky, the space, and everything up there, is just the same thing as the Earth.
Yep.
It's another extension of, yeah, the universe, God's creation, or what have you. It's all beautiful.
I love though how when the idea, like the way that things were phrased differently, rather than it being just heliocentrism versus all that. It's the Earth is moving. That's the easy way to sum it up, right? Where it's the hey, and things look different when you're moving, right? So there you go, right? That explains it. But then the idea that it's not just the concept of what he's talking about itself, but then the more like philosophical, theological ramifications given Oxy's worldview, right? And everything that the church posits of this is where everything's terrible, and the heavens are what.
Yeah, we've got a funnel of stuff, and everything just falls down into this point.
But then, the idea of wait, does that mean that everything is just as terrible as it is here? Because there's a lot of terrible stuff that happens in this world, or is it just that you don't have to worry about it because it's all beautiful in its own in its own way.
Yeah, I love this whole concept of things because again, when you think about like geocentrism in a lot of ways. I just have always rationalized it as egocentrism because it's it just flipped the E and the G because basically it's the this world is so perfect and everything here is good because you're on it. But, you know, if a comet hits a planet that has nothing on it, that's not bad. That's not evil. That's not, bad thing because, well, there's no humans there. So who cares about that? No, it's just your ego. It's just all that. So the idea that we get the most egotistical of monks to be our focus point in a fun way
because he is so egotistical.
The exploration of this is so fun because he himself is thinking like, yes, I am such a brilliant mind and God gave me this brilliant mind so that I would advance humanity forward. And then he's like, he's getting fulfilled by it with the like, and here it is, this is it. And it has nothing to do with the idea of the church being equated to God because he's already thrown that idea completely out and is like, no, I've read the scriptures and there's nothing in here that contradicts the exploration of what I'm doing here. And the old guy's like, curiosity is a sin. And I have expected him to be doing the equivalent of medieval terms of like, bitch, which scripture said that? I've read everything 1,000 times.
Yeah, like if this guy was slightly less egotistical, but only slightly.
Yes.
He could have totally gone for the angle of like the feigning ignorance and please educate me.
Oh, good sir, please
educate me.
Is that in the Pauline text?
Right.
Is that in the Old Testament?
Right, exactly. Yes, I must have missed that. Please enlighten me as to where it says that.
Right. Well, it is a general interpretation spread across from the beginning to test things. Skepticism is the heart of a sinner. Yes.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So that like it's no one like the concept that basically like if you get pissed at someone or punish something for something bad that they did, they don't care. But it's when they do something good and you punish them for it, that's where it's like, all respect for the system is going to be lost. So the idea that he's like, you did all of this great research, not even heretical stuff, but just, you did too much. You were too good at your job. Now you must flagellate yourself after I also,
right. The part that I think could be extrapolated from that is, again, they're not in the church. They're in an abbey. They're monks. So in terms of what they practice and what they've sworn to do, they are to basically become less so that what their work on can become more.
Right.
And in a lot of ways, him doing this, he is reading correctly, that the reading why he's overachieving is not finding the overachieving bad. He's saying you're bringing your ego into this. You're trying to basically make yourself great rather than
forget geocentrism. Truly, your ego is bigger than the whole world, and that's a problem.
Right. And that's why he's saying, I'm not like here to cut your eye out. Strike yourself. So, bad botany, that's not a good thing.
Right.
He's treating him like a child. And then in some ways, it makes sense from the Abbey perspective.
Well, and
that's stupid, and it makes sense.
Right, and that's where in the like sort of JoJo's level of machismo that the characters
this guy's
have in the
absolute
show.
JoJo character in terms of his raw.
Right. He's like,
I am.
There is an injustice, and you tell me to, lash myself once. I will do it 10 times to show that I am 10 times the man you are, and everyone else.
Or not even that.
Whatever,
because it's important. He's basically saying, well, you're telling me that my achievements are worth one of these. Well, fine, I'm going to do a lot more anyway, so I might as well get these all out in advance.
Yeah, bank it up just so that way I can
now can I speak? Right. What I love so much about this is basically the guy saying, hey, your system is fucking stupid, but if this is the system, cool, I'll play within it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now can I have the freedom to speak my mind? Did I earn that? Did this give me? And it's like I love it because what he's saying is that he's very egocentric, but he's actually willing to sacrifice everything he is to go after that great moment. So he lives with the anticipation of that great moment. Okay. It's very ego-focused, but he'll be willing to do the to go through the suffering and the pain or whatever it is. That's probably why he's at the Abbey in a lot of ways.
Sure,
is that he's like, wait, you're telling me I won't need to focus on any of these mundane bullshit things, and I can just focus on work for the rest of my life? That sounds amazing.
Yeah.
And I won't have to deal with stupid people, and I'll just be like in my own space.
Yep.
Bro is like cracked introvert and intellectual, and is like, oh my God, this society is amazing. I was so smart and recommended by all these people that I got to leave the society and focus entirely on developing my brain. I am.
I love that. So this is totally random, but the part where he started like, whipping himself like extra made me think of the part in the early bits of The Notebook where what's his face's character is like going to be moving away and she's mad at him, and so she starts like slapping him and stuff, and he's like, "Why are you slapping me?" And so then he starts smacking himself, and she's like, "Wait, what?" And he's like, "See, it's dumb. Why are you doing that?"
Scenes that I had thrown out of my head forever, and you just like, whoa, reminded me that it existed. Oh my God. Oh, but then, okay, so this is Bodney, right? Mm-hmm. But Oxy goes through such an amazing like progression here. He's so terrified with the idea that he's separate from God's beauty, from God's goodness, and he will never close that gap. Mm-hmm. And there's something about the way that people use God or hope or something that is nebulously away, it is something disconnected to be basically the anchor point to ground them in this, like in this reality or what have you. Mm-hmm. But when you realize that he's anything but grounded because he can't look up, I love that this guy didn't even really like address it. He's just like, "Oh, that's a funny joke, man. Like, that's great. Oh, yeah. Go do the thing."
Right.
And he looks up, terrified, but he does it anyway. Mm-hmm. Meaning that something in Oxy at that moment was like, I knew all these other people that they found some kind of meaning at the very least in having some kind of hope, even unto the point that they died. Either they're crazy or they have something that I don't. So he looks up. He does the calculations. Mm-hmm. The guy's like, wow, actually, these are not half bad for an idiot like you, basically.
Right.
And it's the thing of, well, yeah, he watched Gross do it, so he's like, I generally know what's going on here.
Yeah.
But the fact that then the guy goes to the documents and explains it in the most succinct way for the viewer who might be following along with the concepts and the history and stuff, but also for him with the, here, visually, I'm going to show you how probably the most basic and rudimentary and like ancient of peoples did the same kind of potential experiments and stuff and might have come to similar conclusions if not for this assumption that, well, the earth isn't moving, therefore, that's the way the world works. And I just love that little bit there brought him to the, wait, so this is all.
Then I can look at the sky.
Then I can look at the sky.
Because we like the scariest things are the things that we don't understand, right? Mm-hmm. Because then we don't know, right?
Right, like death. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And so then it can take on whatever form, our minds twist it into, right?
For sure, right.
And so then once he actually then has an explanation for it, then it holds way less power over him.
And it's fun because this is still faith. Like, in a lot of ways, he doesn't know any of this.
Sure.
But it's just something to basically put a natural amount of conflict into his previous, beliefs.
He's been struggling against that as best he can up until now, but he didn't have any tools to actually struggle against it, right? So every time that he brings it up of the I can't look at the sky, he knows it's a problem. Right? Like, it's, he is actively basically either trying to resist it or wishing upon a star, pun intended, that he could resist it, that he could overcome this fear within himself.
Oh, right.
Because, and so then, he actually gets something and he's like, all right, cool, this is something concrete. I can latch onto this. In a lot of ways, well, yes, I do need faith for this. There's also the part of me that doesn't, because it's just dealing in, like logic and answers and things like that. I saw the way that it looked like, he was, like his speed was changing as I ran.
Oh yeah,
past him.
but I'm saying that again. This is all based around just the supposition that the Earth is moving, which they both are like, well, that's not the case. But then when he looks up, he's not looking at this sky as if like, oh, these are things that have completely superseded.
I've completely figured out what this whole thing is.
Right. It's just now it's a thing of beauty versus a thing of fear.
Right.
And part of what makes the thing still faith for me is that, again, he's still hoping in this thing being true. He's still believing that then this is true.
Right.
Because if he can believe it, he can be completely free. He can be completely free from everything that's haunted him all this time. Now, he still has his own view of things, but in a lot of ways, I'll bet because this guy isn't so well read, isn't so, filled with all this other stuff to kind of, obfuscate, well, if this, then this, then if this, then this. Bro is just like, wait, the Earth is a part of the heavens and it's all connected and it's all here and it's beautiful and it's the universe and it's what God made and it's wonderful. Then, maybe, yeah, if I could believe that basically all this was awful, and all this was, like it's the thing of where he has enough things that conflict with each other to be able to go, well, I'll just go and believe what they believe.
Right. I'll choose now. Right.
Yeah,
Rather than just holding on to basically what's been given to me.
Yeah, and that's special because I think that he's still operating on the same principles with which he ended up getting to the point where he was scared to look up at the sky. Like he hasn't fundamentally removed himself as being a man of faith necessarily just because he ended up doing an experiment with this guy and he's like, oh, this, contradicts what I believed before. It's it's a discovery. It's in a lot of ways something kind of interesting to what Bodney was bringing up of you're saying the answers are in the scriptures? So then you would know the answer to this, right? And he's like,
Right,
So what he's kind of making fun of is you don't have all the answers to this. Because even logically, you could look at this, I even said this in the reaction, that there was a point where those that had the scriptures didn't know that this was the way it was.
Exactly.
Because they had to, even if the answers are all in the scriptures, they had to take a bit of time to understand and discern what it was
saying.
Yeah, exactly. So maybe y'all don't have perfect discernment even over these holy scriptures.
What, you're saying that we're not perfect? I mean, the scriptures aren't perfect?
Yeah.
How dare you? Blasphemy.
I mean, it is a pretty impressive, source material to draw from as far as actual, veracity over the course of, many, many years. But it is fun how a simple, basic walking and running experiment led to this guy completely to reshape the way he thinks. Because I think as human beings, we don't really spend much time thinking about the things that we're no longer questioning.
Sure.
If you're not questioning something, it doesn't really go into your mind as much.
I mean, that's why we need answers, so that we can clear things up and then focus on doing or then focus on the questions that we really are more pressing or whatever.
No, totally. But I'm bringing the point up in that those aren't really necessarily answers. What they are is they're they're basically things that satisfy the question enough that you don't necessarily feel like you have to question it. They don't fundamentally answer everything in the most all-encompassing scientific way,
Okay.
I think that's part of what makes this so almost alien to us as people in the modern age is that a lot of the scientific discoveries that have happened over the last, say, 500 years from this point in human history have covered so many of the bases of what we would need as strong, powerful, staring us in the face questions that we can just be like, oh, yeah, I don't really think about that as much. It's just not as big of a deal. But I'm sure that for some people, who are more in the explorative scientific like mindsets,
right.
like they actually are like poking at those things where it's like, well, we have theories about this. We don't actually have answers, but we have theories about this, and I'm still like pushing down the rabbit hole, like trying to figure out like what the actual answer is.
The idea of gravity and relative motion is a lot more in your face than like dark matter. You know?
Exactly.
Right? Yeah.
Right. Or to use this one as an example, just death.
Sure.
Like, we're no closer to understanding anything beyond that other than just,
the cells die and
you
that's
stop.
it.
Yeah, you just
entropy
stop
is a bitch. You know?
Exactly. You just stop. But the what does that feel like? What does that experience
right?
like?
Is there some meaning to it or whatever?
Or is there like anything more about your body than just your body just ceases, right?
Do we truly have free will, or are we just a very complex set of, chemical and other interactions that are happening? And,
yeah, consciousness, the soul, and all that kind of stuff. And I'd say a lot of people are still like spending a lot of their lives, whether it makes sense or not, exploring those kinds of questions and stuff, because those ones stare them quite a bit in the face. But I think we as people accept certain things enough that we're then able to kind of almost on a sort of belief then go, that I've sufficiently answered that enough for myself that I don't feel the fear or the unknown or the void kind of calling out to me like this guy does with the sky being there, because that's, like you're saying, it's so visually like distracting in that regard that you can't really avoid it.
Right.
But I know some people that are like scared to death of like the concept of death, and if you like bring it up and talk about it, it's like, oh, it's like, stop, like I don't like that being brought up at all.
That's kind of wild.
No, isn't that wild?
Yeah.
But like in a lot of ways, I think that's because they have enough stuff that is basically distracted them from asking the questions. And this show seems to be about what are the ways in which you have questions about things, but you've stifled them down because of your fear or because of other people and organizations that are...
Our lives are improved by asking questions.
Yes. Yeah.
And whenever we think we have the answer, well, take that with a big helping of salt,
Yeah, you've got, on the scientific level, probably a hypothesis or a theory, maybe. But
right. And that's probably generous, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But wow, okay, we've got a pair now. We've got a pair. They're in this, and in a lot of ways, I feel this little bit of botany, almost like getting enjoyment and fulfillment of getting to like
the ego person being able to educate the uneducated. No.
Yeah, maybe a little bit. But okay. All right, let's take this stuff here and see what it would take to get published, because he brought it up a couple times and he's like, so actually...
If I went with the right translation of just like, go to a particular country, particular language, whatever,
I think he was specifically talking, though, about the scriptures, is that he's saying if I like specifically find a way to translate this so it is in line with the scriptures, I could publish this as a monk, like as a member of the abbey, is that they would not look at this
as an actual religious text kind of
right
study thing or whatever.
Yeah, and be like, oh no, I as affiliated with these people have the grounds to be like, look, there's this part in the scriptures that confirms this thing that I'm saying.
And then at the very least, even if it's deemed as it probably would be able to save you from being burned at the stake, kind of heretical. And instead have it be no, we're going to take your other eye because we don't like what you're saying kind of stuff.
Sure. Or it would be like, no, we're not going to allow this to be published anymore. We're going to remove it after it's already been given out there. And then you could have then the truth, the wonder of all this spread to a lot of other people before it gets clamped down on or something.
Sure.
Because then you'd be maybe dealing with, instead of inquisitors and Novak, but you could have like, it just be like a couple members of the abbey. You'd have to be like, well, here's a debate. Let's go into that. But yeah, y'all, thank you so much for watching this episode's reaction and discussion. If you want to see the next episode's reaction and discussion right now, though, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. You get on early access there. You can watch full-length timer reactions there, and all this comes with Discord access, so you can chat with us in the community there about this show, about anime in general, and also be sure to check out our Twitch channel. So if any of that interests you, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all next time.